Okay.
Are you ready? Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming today to support our youth photographers. My name is Yolanda Taylor, and I am the founder and the president of Heavenly Visions Foundation. Heavenly Visions Foundation has a youth photography program, and we've been in existence since 2010. And what we do in Heavenly Visions Foundation, we train youth in the art of photography. We give them the training, the knowledge, and the ability to take pictures and to learn about photography, and then to go about in different activities in the community to use the training that they've received. We're here today because one of our projects that we had for the youth photography program is a program called Eyes of Wisdom. And what we did in this program is our youth photographers was to identify an individual who is 70 years or older, and they were to take pictures of that person and gather information and put that into a photo book project. So here's what we have today. And first of all, we want to thank each of the individuals who volunteered to allow our youth photographers to take part of in this project. And after the program, you'll get a chance to come and to view the books, and then each person gets to take these books home with them. The students also get a book. And all of this has been funded. Thank you, Lily. All of this has been funded through the Women's Fund. And we have here today, as our guests from the Women's Fund, Linda Jeffrey and Leo Marshall. And when I presented my grant request to them, they liked the idea of what we were doing here, and so they gave us money to get the cameras and to be able to do the photo books and the laptops that we needed to be able to put this project together. So I thank you ladies for doing this and for having trust in us to complete this project, and here we are today. What I'd like to do now is I'd like for all of our individuals, first of all, I'm going to have our individuals to stand, and I'm going to recognize each of you. I'm going to start with the Hillers, and my mind. Tammy and Donna Hiller. And Tammy and Donna were photographed by the granddaughter and the grandson, Zion and Sonovia. We all call him Snow for short. Would you two please stand? The next person is Miss Pauline Johnson. Would you please stand? Miss Pauline Johnson was photographed by Dariana Moore. Dariana, would you please stand? Next is Mr. Lester Wilson. And Mr. Lester Wilson is photographed by the white paper. We have Betty Fox. And Betty Fox is photographed by Lily. We also have Russell Gray. And Russell Gray is photographed by Joaquin. We have Miss Willie Mae Cooper. Photographed by Tatiana Wallace, who's not able to be with us today. And last, we have Miss Rosetta Taylor, who is not able to be with us today, but she was photographed by Dariana Moore. So through this project, when we started this project, I told each kid that they were going to photograph and learn about the person that they were photographing. So today, each student is going to tell you a little bit about the person that they photographed. And then at the last person that we're going to have to speak is Mr. Lester Wilson, and he's going to share some information with us that he shared with Verante. But first of all, I'm going to go ahead and just have the students, because I believe in letting our students have a voice in this program. So anytime we're out in the public, I encourage the students to speak. So at this point, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to have the students to come up and share with you their experience in photographing the individuals. So first, we're going to have Zion and Snow to come up. Zenobia.
My name is Zion, and this is my cousin Sylvia. We just started the Heavily Ambitious program photograph group this spring. We have already been on our first trip to Chicago. I personally have had a great time with taking photos with Miss Yolanda and the group.
While in Chicago, we stayed downtown. We saw many cool things that we took pictures of. Some of the things that we saw were fireworks on the Navy Pier, and we got to take a trolley tour of downtown Chicago. On our tour, we experienced amazing art, an upside-down skyscraper, Lake Michigan, which seemed like an ocean, and personally, my favorite was the pigeons.
During this process, we both learned new things about our grandparents. First, we learned that they've been married for 50 years. This past week, our grandmother, Tammy, had her 71st birthday. Happy late birthday, Grandma.
I learned not only my grandpa served our country, but he also helps veterans.
What I've learned about our grandmother is that when she was young, her father's owner bought the land for her father, and he bought the land from them. Because of his skin color, he could not buy the land for himself. When I was with our grandmother, I had asked her how was her normal day on the farm. She said that before and after school, she would milk the cows, feed the pigs and chickens. On Saturday was cleaning day, and Sunday she went to church. I also learned that she started a salon right out of college. She also was able to go to the Holy Land with her father and two sisters.
Together, our grandparents had one son that created a huge blended family. They had 4 biological grandchildren and 2 adopted children that are a blessing to our family. I have learned over the years that we are a blended family, and at the end of the day, family is everything. John chapter 4, verses 7 through 11 says, "Beloved, let us love one another, for God is love, and everyone that loveth is born of God and knoweth God."
These students have only been with me, as they say, since the spring of the spring. So they have really, and you're going to see, when you get a chance, you'll see some of the pictures that Snow was talking about that they took when they were in Chicago, and the skills and me working with them, even in the project when we went over to the Hitler's home and to photograph them and guide them. They were very quick to catch on, and they showed that in the weekend that we were in Chicago. And I'm looking forward to actually getting with them and doing the classroom training with them and taking them to other activities that we're going to have throughout the school year and next year too. And I just wanted to say to the parents of Zion and Zenobia, you guys got some wonderful kids here. They can go with me anywhere. Next, we're going to have Lily. And okay, Lily, I'm going to stand here with Lily, and I'm going to share. Lily, she's a little shy right now, but she's going to be okay. Lily is one that she's been with us for just a short time, but Lily came in. I like her energy. She has a lot of energy. She knows she knows everything about music. I mean, it's almost like she's a second. She's been here before. She's walked on earth before. She's an old soul. I mean, and I just love her and just enjoy having her around. And I had the opportunity to meet her grandmother, and Miss Betty Fox. And Betty is an artist, and that's something that's dear to my heart, an artist. And we had the opportunity, Lily, we went to visit her at the Aldous Gate, is where she resides, and we went there and we took pictures, and you really had a nice time taking pictures with her. Can you tell me just something about, just one thing that you liked about taking pictures?
It was really interesting that we took a picture of a picture that was already taken, like an actual photograph, because it looked like if we had just taken the older picture with the way that we did it.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I taught the kids in doing the photographing project. And someone had told me, why don't you just scan the pictures and the pictures of the individuals from their younger days or their families who couldn't be there during the photo process. I was told, why don't you just scan the pictures instead of having them take it? But that was the experience that they gained. I remember I think it was with Bariana when we were at Mrs. Taylor's house taking her picture. I mentioned to Bariana, I said, well, just stand over the photograph like you're standing over, like you're bisecting a frog, like you're using a microscope. And she said, I've never used, because she's just going to high school, so she said, I've never used a microscope before. And so it's an experience. The kids are getting all kind of experience through this program. And I really enjoy working with the kids. The kids are very well behaved. They obey, they're very obedient, and this is what makes it very, very special for me to take on this responsibility. And to meet the parents and the grandparents. This project, meeting the grandparents and the individuals in the community, was just a wonderful idea. And I see we really had 2 other people that wanted to be part of this project, but time wouldn't allow. So this is going to be a project that we will carry on with the students to next year also. So do you have anything else you want to add to it? Okay, the next person that we're going to bring up will be Bariana. No, Bariana. Bariana. Okay. Let's do
well, Pauline Johnson, she really likes family, and you could tell because she would always talk about her family, and when they all got there, she was going to take a whole bunch of pictures, and she really likes being outside. Because we went up there, it was raining, she was just and she has like a lot of photos of like her husband and all her grandkids and stuff, and of her son.
And one of the things that we also learned about Ms. Pauline is that she is a person who started the Thanksgiving dinner that many of the people experienced to today. And she gave us the story about that, and that's in her photo book. So, yeah, so that was really interesting too. I'll tell you what I'm going to do and come back to me, okay? Okay. Now, in the absence of, Joaquin. Joaquin is another one who, he's a Robinson Middle School student, and he was recruited through Central Park Community Center. And Joaquin, I like his spirit. He was there when we had training. He was always, he'd come in and he would sit down, and he was into the training that we had. So really, really had a great time working with Joaquin. And Joaquin had the opportunity to photograph Mr. Russell Gray. Russell?
Mr. Gray, he was was born April 11th, 1943, I believe. And he was married to his wife Peggy, 1997. He had many jobs, housing, constructing, and he was also in the Air Force, and much more. Him and his wife bike, boat, and hike. They biked over 7,000 miles.
All right. Mr. Russell is I met Mr. Russell through his grandson, who is my grandfather. And he lives in Denver. The grandson lives in Denver. I met him here in Topeka, and he moved to Denver, but he still kept in touch. And he recommended his grandpa, and I thought it would be a good match for Joaquin. And the excitement and what he did, and he took us out and showed us his canoe and the bikes, and so you'll see that in the pictures when you get a chance to view the photo books. Now, I do want to tell you, when I get a chance to look at the books, but please do not take them because they go back with our honored individuals, okay? Thank you, Joaquin. Miss Willie Mae Cooper. Miss Willie Mae, this is my first time getting a chance to meet her. I didn't go on the photo shoot because the young lady that Tatiana is an experienced photographer, but she wanted to be in the program, so she took the camera and went on her own. I wish she would have been here today because she did a great job, Ms. Willie Mae, but I know that in her capturing you through her lens, she noted that you like to cook and that you enjoy cooking your Thanksgiving dinner for your family. I think is something that she said. You like crocheting and quilting and all kind of craft. Yeah. And so I do appreciate the fact that you allowed Tatiana to capture you. I think one of the pictures that I'm going to mention is the one when you were praising God in church. I thought that was so great. So
also nursing. I retired from the VA, but I went back into nursing, and I'm still nursing.
So I do thank you again. I thank you for allowing Tatiana to include you in our book. And to be respectful of your time, we have one more person that I'm going to have to come up, and that is our last person. That's Verante Perry, and he's going to tell you about the person the individual that he photographed, Mr. Lester Wilson. And it was so interesting with the visit with Mr. Lester Wilson, and Mr. Wilson told us about his story. I don't want to take away Veronta's thunder, but we invited Mr. Wilson to give us our little closing remarks today. So I'm going to have Veronte come and introduce Mr. Wilson and share a few things that he enjoyed in visiting Mr. Wilson and photographing Mr. Wilson. And then we're going to have Mr. Wilson come and share some remarks with them.
I photographed Mr. Wilson. I'm Verante Perry, by the way. He was the first African American to be on the baseball teams and the football team. Yeah. And he has a whole lot of ad collections. He has a whole lot of pictures too, of his grandchildren and his children. And
tell them about the collection, about the picture collection in the school arch.
Yeah, it's like everywhere, like covered the whole garage basically.
Pictures of different things that happen in the community. One of the things that you'll see that in his photo book, we actually have an image of Miss Pauline Johnson because he had something that I guess appeared in the Capital Journal where he had that in his garage. And so I thought that would be good to put in the photo book, so we captured that for him. He also told the story. But we're looking at somebody that could have been a professional softball player with the White Sox, right?
Baseball.
Okay, all right, thank you. Yeah. Could have been a professional baseball player with the White Sox. So he'll tell us about that, I'm sure, when he comes up to share his story with us. He has an interesting story, and I just, without standing here any longer, Mr. Wilson, would you come up? And Ronte, thank you for introducing this story.
What about Miss Taylor? Did we forget her?
Miss Taylor, oh, yeah, that's right. Miss Taylor's not here today. She's someone that's not here today, and Bariana was supposed to do that. I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson, I'm gonna go ahead and let Bariana. Thank you for reminding me. I'm gonna have to bring her a seat. I'm gonna have Bariana come and share some about Miss Taylor.
So this Rosetta Taylor, she had a husband, his name was Robert Taylor. They were married for 29 years. She has a lot of grandchildren, and she has like 6 children. She likes to play checkers with her grandson Sincere. He's like
Sincere is his grandpa still here? I think he left. Okay, I think
he's like around 7, 8. And we took a lot of pictures of her when she was on cruises, because she's been on 5 of them. And she likes to travel, I guess. And that's pretty much it.
I think Mrs. Rosella Taylor is the mother of one of my very close friend, Lonnie Williams. And so we had, she was probably the first person that had responded. Well, her daughter was one of the first person that responded to our theme about the project. And so I just hate that she wasn't able to be here today, but they just flew out on their family vacation, wanted their family reunion. So her son was here earlier, but he had to leave. So, we had a great time. Like I say, this is where Bariana had to learn how to photograph. It was hard for you. She said that bending over was too much, and using a telephoto lens and making sure that we focused just right and everything. So it was a great experience. I'm glad she said it was hard, because it's not supposed to be easy. Now she's learning, so. Well, thank you very much. Mr. Wilson, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank God for this opportunity, and I'm sure thankful for Yolanda for even thinking about me. I don't know how much time you have, and with me sitting down, my wife would think we could be here forever. I don't know how people really have found out about me, but here, and I'm 81 years old, and I have opportunity to tell a little bit about my story today, and I also have opportunity the 27th of this month at the Brown versus the Board of Education to speak about growing up in segregated times. I graduated from Topeka High in 1952, so I was before the Brown versus the Board of Education. I'm a native Topekan, born in North Topeka, and North Topeka folks, we got a lot of pride about being North Topekans, but I was raised in Tennessee town. And at the time I was born with my first event of understanding segregation was really just being born. I was born with gray eyes. White folks said, no way. So on all of my birth certificates and things, I have brown eyes. Even as I got older and realized that it said brown, going to get a driver's license, and I call myself correcting that, they still put it as brown. One thing I have to say about growing up in segregation, I give people, Mr. Johnson and my parents' age, a lot of credit. They never made an issue out of segregation. I grew up understanding you know right from wrong, and you do what you're supposed to do. Now, the thing that I think about that makes that difficult, you have to wonder, what's the problem that someone doesn't want you to be around just because of the color of your skin? As a youngster, I had to go to all-black elementary school. Everybody my age did. In that era, you didn't think much about it because you did all things basically with black people. School, church, even when you went shopping, you really was with your parents and they really did the shopping. They didn't let you run around like kids do today. Your mother would tell you before you went in the store, we're going to get so-and-so and you're not going to get anything else. Wasn't all that crying and raising cane, I want some candy. They would whip you right then. The other side that I realized to me that seemed like that's one of the problems in this world is the fact they no longer whip you in school. And they would give your parents a bad time for whipping you. I didn't ever hear the term child abuse until I was grown. If we go that way, I could say my dad abused me. But that's not really the case. I was a big guy, and my dad had enough sense to know if I had a fight with one of them white kids, they're gonna lock me up. So he taught me to be humble. My dad only had an 8th grade education, but he was a very smart guy. My dad was a guy that learned to do sign language because there was a guy, deaf and dumb white guy up the street to be able to talk to him. My dad worked at the packing house. They weren't able to socialize, but he had Mexican friends that had them hot peppers. He liked them hot food. He learned how to speak that Mexican language to be able to go over in Oakland. No blacks lived in Oakland when I come along, 1 or 2 families. When I come along, blacks could only live in certain areas. I don't care how much money you had. You had to live in certain areas. The other side of that was, I lived in Tennessee Town, which was considered the best area for blacks. And the reason I said that, and the reason they said it, is because I don't know if people are familiar with Westboro. Westboro